One morning in Europe, there are no explosions, no sirens, not yet. Major cities are still breathing like normal. Paris wakes up to the sound of the metro. Berlin is filled with office workers heading to work. Warsaw continues its daily routine, looking completely ordinary. The world seems fine, until we remember that history never announces when it is about to repeat itself. Every major war in human history started with something small. One decision, one provocation, one step that seemed harmless until it was too late. And this time, if history repeats itself, Europe could once again become the center of it all. Chapter 1: The continent that burned twice. Europe is no stranger to world wars. Twice, this continent became the stage of global destruction. World War I ended royal empires. World War II destroyed cities, ideologies, and millions of lives. After that, the world made a promise: never again. But history does not care about promises. History only records patterns. And the pattern is always the same: tension, alliances, miscalculation, war. Today, Europe once again stands in the middle of global power struggles. NATO on one side, Eastern powers on the other. Diplomacy continues, but it walks side by side with weapons that are always ready. Modern war does not begin with gunfire. It begins with pressure. Chapter 2: War without the first bullet. If World War III begins in Europe, most people might not even realize it at first. There will be no tanks crossing borders, no paratroopers falling from the sky. What happens will be quieter and more deadly. Power outages in one city, banking systems collapsing in another, communication satellites suddenly experiencing technical failures, cyber attacks. Within minutes, power grids could shut down. Hospitals could lose electricity. Transportation systems could fall into chaos. Panic would spread without a single shot being fired. This is the face of modern warfare. A war you cannot see, but can feel everywhere. Chapter 3: When alliances are forced to choose. Europe's biggest challenge is not just conflict. Its biggest challenge is alliances. If one NATO member is attacked, others are required to respond. It is not optional. It is an obligation. One small incident at an Eastern European border could drag dozens of countries into the same conflict. And when alliances move, the world moves with them. The United States cannot stay silent. Other global powers will not simply watch. A regional war quickly becomes a global war, not because of intention, but because of agreements. Chapter 4: The war machines of the 21st century. World War III will not look like previous wars. It will not be trench warfare. It will not be massive tank battles. It will be a war of drones, artificial intelligence, and algorithms. Unmanned drones will strike targets with high precision. AI systems will analyze millions of battlefield data points within seconds. Life and death decisions could be made by machines faster than human reaction time. The problem is simple, but terrifying. Machines have no empathy, and machines never hesitate. Chapter 5: The most dangerous moment. Nuclear weapons. Every discussion about World War III eventually leads to one word: nuclear. Today, nuclear weapons are no longer just threats. They are real, maintained, and ready to be used at any moment. A single modern nuclear missile could erase a major city from the map, not just destroying buildings, but ending life itself. Many world leaders believe nuclear weapons will never be used because their consequences are too devastating. But history teaches one painful lesson: logic often disappears when war begins. A radar mistake, a misunderstood signal, or a panic decision under time pressure. One mistake, one launch, and the world changes forever. Chapter 6: If nuclear weapons are used, the first explosion would not be the end. It would be the beginning. Shockwaves would destroy cities. Radiation would spread invisibly. Hospitals would collapse under pressure. Governments would struggle to function. Then comes the slower, but more brutal effect: nuclear winter. Dust and smoke would block sunlight. Global temperatures would drop. Agriculture would fail. Europe would not be the only region facing starvation. The entire world would feel the consequences. War would no longer be about soldiers. It would become about survival. Chapter 7: The global economy collapses in days. Europe is one of the heart centers of the global economy. If a major war happens there, stock markets would crash, currencies would become unstable, energy prices would explode, oil and gas would become weapons, inflation would rise rapidly, poorer countries would collapse first. World War III would not only kill people, it would destroy systems. Chapter 8 Waves of people without homes. Millions of people would begin to move, not because they want to, but because they have no choice. War refugees would flood borders. Neighboring countries would struggle to handle the pressure. Social tensions would grow. History shows something important. Refugee crises often create new conflicts. War creates the next war. Chapter 9 Information warfare. In the 21st century, truth becomes the first victim. Social media would turn into a battlefield. Propaganda, fake news, and misinformation would spread faster than bombs. Citizens would begin to distrust each other. Public confidence would collapse. Countries could break from the inside. War would not only attack territory, it would attack human minds. Chapter 10 Is there any winner? In World War III, there would be no true victory. There would only be countries destroyed, earlier countries surviving slightly longer. The post-war world would be completely different. Political maps would change. Old powers could fall. New powers might rise from the ruins. Chapter 11 Why this war has not happened until today. World War III has not happened, not because the world is perfect, but because the world understands the consequences. Diplomacy, although fragile, still works. Fear of total destruction still holds back global leaders. Ironically, global peace is protected by fear. Chapter 12 The crossroads of history. Today, humanity stands at a crossroads. One path leads to escalation, the other leads to cooperation. Technology can become a weapon or a tool for survival. The choice still exists. For now, final question: if World War III truly begins in Europe, it will not simply be a conflict between nations. It will be the ultimate test of human civilization. Will we learn from history or repeat it with more advanced weapons? Because the next world war may not be about who wins. It may be about whether there is still a world left to win.